In the deepest rifts of the abyss, where reality twists and chaos reigns, demons are born. They are not merely monsters, they are hatred incarnate, forged from madness, war, and endless hunger. No gods made them, no laws bind them, only the will to destroy, corrupt, and devour. Tonight, we descend into their realm. We will walk the blackened plains of the abyss, learn of the demon lords who rule each twisted layer, and uncover the nature of pure, unrelenting evil. Let the quiet of the night carry you into a storm of shadow, and may you find peace in the knowledge that you're still on this side of the veil. In the primordial void that preceded the ordered cosmos, where swirling mists of chaos churned like endless storms, and the ether hummed with raw, untamed potential, the origins of demons trace back to the Dawn-Wara cataclysmic conflict between gods and primordials that shaped the multiverse in Dungeons & Dragons lore. This war fought across nascent plains where the ground heaved like breathing flesh and the skies cracked with divine thunder, pitted the structured deities against elemental titans bent on unmaking creation. The primordials, colossal beings of fire, earth, wind, and water, sought to return everything to formless anarchy, their roars echoing like avalanches through voids scented with ozone and brimstone. The gods, led by figures like Pelor and Moradin, forged alliances to preserve order, their weapons clashing in bursts of light that illuminated the darkness like fleeting stars. Amid this turmoil, the abyss emerged as a wound in reality, a bottomless chasm born from the death throes of the primordial Therisdun, who in madness chained himself to the elemental chaos, his essence corrupting the fabric with a chill that seeped into bones like damp fog. The abyss began as a single layer but fractured into infinite strata, each a twisted reflection of destruction swamps, bubbling with acidic mire where vapors sting the eyes, frozen wastelands cracking underfoot with icy snaps, and volcanic fields where lava flows hiss like serpents. This plane, infinite and ever-shifting, became the cradle of demons, spawned from shards of primordial evil that coalesced into fiendish forms, their births accompanied by screams that vibrated the air like shattering glass. The first demons, known as Oberiths, were alien horrors from a dying universe, their arrival predating the Dawn War. These entities, like Dagon with tentacles writhing in inky depths, or Pazuzu with wings beating gusts laden with plague dust, invaded the abyss, corrupting its layers with madness that warped stone into fleshy tumors pulsing softly in the gloom. They clashed with Tanari, the newer breed of demons, born from the plains chaos ballers, with whips cracking fire, Vrock's screeching spores that choke with bitter tang. The Oberith's decline came with the Queen of Chaos's failed war, her scepter lost in battles where the ground split open, releasing geysers of foul liquid that steamed with corruption. The Tanari rose dominant, their forms embodying pure destruction dretches slithering in filth with a slimy squelch, Meriliths coiling with serpentine grace amid the clink of blades. The Abyss's layers, over 666 known but infinite, each ruled by demon lords like Demogorgon's gaping maw, a swamp where brackish water or Graz's Azagrat, palaces of marble veined with gold where silk curtains sway in perfumed breezes. These domains shift with the Lord's whims, walls melting like wax under heat, air growing heavy with the scent of decay or allure. Demons' origins fuel the blood war, an eternal conflict with devils in the nine hells. Battlefields slick with ichor, where the clash of horns and blades resounds like endless thunder. This war, born from ideological hatred chaos versus law consumes layers. The abyss replenishing its hordes from corrupted souls that twist into manes amid screams fading into gurgles. The plane's corruption spreads through portals, rifts opening with a tear-like ripping fabric, releasing demons into material plane where they rampage, the ground trembling under their advance. The abyss itself is alive, layers birthing new horrors from festering wounds, the environment hostile with toxic gases that sting like needles or winds howling with trapped souls' wails. Demons thrive here, their chaotic nature mirroring the plane's mutability, forms shifting in surges of energy that crackle like lightning. This origin story sets demons as agents of unmaking, their existence a perpetual threat to order, drawing adventurers into abyssal depths where every step crunches on bone-littered floors and the air presses with oppressive weight. Hierarchy and types of demons. From the lowliest swarms festering in filth to the towering lords commanding legions, this hierarchy mirrors the blood war's ceaseless conflict against the lawful devils of the Nine Hellsware. The air crackles with the scent of ozone from clashing spells, and the metallic tang of spilled ichor lingers on the wind. At the base of this hierarchy are the dretches, the wretched foot soldiers of the abyss, born from the corrupted souls of the most base mortals. These squat, toad-like fiends ooze with a slimy filth that drips onto the ground with a wet squelch, their bodies a mottled green and gray that blends into the muck of abyssal pits, where the air grows thick with a pungent stench. Dretches swarm in mindless hordes, their guttural croaks rising like a chorus of frogs in a stagnant pond, overwhelming foes with numbers rather than skill. They possess minor ability stinking clouds that choke with a bitter, rotting odor, or weak claws that scrape with a dull rap serving as fodder in the blood war. Their deaths marked by a pop of bursting flesh that releases a final noxious burst. Rising above are the manes, the most common demons, spawned directly from the abyss's corruptive influence on damned souls. These gaunt, skeletal figures shuffle with a dry crackle of bones, their flesh a pallid gray that flakes like ash under the infernal winds. Their eyes glow with a sickly yellow light, casting faint shadows that dance on cavern walls, and their presence fills the air with a faint, musty decay. Manes attack with clawing hands that leave shallow cuts with a soft scrape, serving as cannon fodder in abyssal skirmishes, their numbers replenished endlessly as the abyss churns out new fiends, the ground vibrating with their ceaseless march. Mid-tier demons include the Rudderkin, twisted abominations born from the union of chaos and spite, their forms a grotesque amalgam of limbs and claws that twitch unpredictably. These fiends stalk abyssal wastelands, where the wind howls with trapped screams, their movements accompanied by a rustling like dry leaves skittering over stone. They wield crude weapons that clang with a hollow ring, spewing acidic spittle that hisses on impact, the air growing acrid with its fumes. Rudderkin act as scouts or enforcers, their chaotic nature making them unreliable but ferocious in ambushes where the ground slicks with their corrosive trails. The Vrock, resembling vultures with feathered wings that beat with a leathery flap, occupy a higher rung, their spores releasing a musty cloud that chokes with bitter dust when they take flight. These demons dance in frenzied rituals on battlefields, where the ground is littered with bones that crunch underfoot, their screeches piercing the air like nails on slate. Vrocks wield talons that slash with a sharp whistle and cast spells like mirror image, their illusions shimmering like heat haze, making them elusive in combat, where the scent of decay hangs heavy. Hezru, frog-like brutes with a swampy rot that clings to their hide, dominate mid-level ranks with their bulk and stench, the air around them thick with a miasma that stings the nostrils. They lumber through abyssal marshes, where water laps with a sluggish gurgle, attacking with powerful jaws that snap with a wet crunch and claws that gouge the earth. Hezru serve as shock troops, their presence turning skirmishes into bogs of chaos where the ground squelches underfoot. Ascending further, the Glabrazu emerge as cunning manipulators, their crab-like claws clicking with a metallic echo, and their forearms wielding weapons that slice through the air with a whistle. These demons tempt mortals, with promises whispered in seductive tones, the air growing warm with their infernal allure, offering power in exchange for souls in lairs where shadows coil like living smoke. Glabrezu orchestrate ambushes, their spells like confusion scattering foes in bursts of psychic static. Naufeshni, boar-headed enforcers with wings that flap with a heavy thud, judge the worth of souls in courts where the air hums with dark energy, their tusks gleaming wetly in torchlight. They cast smite spells that explode with a flash of brimstone-scented light, ruling over lesser demons with a bellow that shakes the ground, their lairs filled with the clatter of chains binding captives. At the apex stand the Balors, towering infernals with whips that crack like thunder, their fiery forms casting a glow that warms the air like a forge. These demon lords wield swords that blaze with hellfire, the scent of charred flesh following each swing, and their death throws detonate in fiery ruin that scorches the earth black. Balors lead assaults in the blood war, their roars resonating like earthquakes, commanding respect through sheer destructive force. Mariliths, six-armed strategists with serpentine tails that slither with a soft hiss, orchestrate demonic armies with blade flurries that ring like a blacksmith's anvil. Their lairs are battlefields, strewn with broken weapons, the air thick with the metallic tang of blood, casting telepathic commands that echo in minds like distant drums, making them generals in chaotic wars. Above all are the demon lords, not a formal hierarchy, but rulers by might Demogorgon with twin heads roaring discordantly, Orcus with a skeletal wand clacking on bone floors, Grazist with a seductive purr in opulent halls. Their domains shift with conquests, walls melting like wax, air altering from rot to perfume, their power derived from betrayal and bloodshed in the abyss's endless churn. This hierarchy reflects demons' chaotic nature, each type a cog in the war machine, their ranks fluid as lava flows, determined by strength and cunning. In Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, they challenge players with unpredictable tactics, from dretch swarms clogging corridors with slime, to Balor explosions lighting up final stands, the air alive with the chaos they embody. Powers and abilities. These fiends, born from the primordial chaos of their infernal plane, wield innate capabilities that reflect their anarchic nature abilities that twist the fabric of reality with a hum of wild magic, leaving the scent of brimstone and ozone lingering in their wake. From teleportation that defies distance to spell casting that erupts in unpredictable bursts, demons embody a force of destruction that thrives in the chaos of battle. Their power's a testament to the abyss's corrupting influence across the multiverse. At the core of a demon's arsenal is their innate teleportation, a gift that allows them to vanish and reappear with a flicker of shadow, the air left charged with a faint ozone trail that dissipates like mist. This ability, common across types from the lowly Dretch to the towering Balor, enables swift ambushes or escapes, the ground trembling slightly as they materialize with a soft pop of displaced air. In combat, this teleportation disrupts formations, forcing adventurers to pivot in cramped caverns where the walls echo with the sudden rustle of their approach, the space growing oppressive with their sudden presence. The unpredictability adds a layer of tension, as players feel the thrill of a Merilith's 6 blades slashing from an unexpected angle, the metallic ring of steel cutting through the silence. Demons also possess a natural affinity for spellcasting, their chaotic essence channeling wild magic that erupts in bursts of energy, crackling like lightning across a stormy sky. This innate magic varies by Tipidretches spew stinking clouds that choke with a bitter, rotting odor, filling the air with a haze that stings the eyes, while Vrox cast mirror image, their illusions shimmering like heat haze over desert sands, multiplying their forms to confuse foes. Balors wield hellfire, their swords blazing with flames that scorch the ground black, the heat radiating like a forge's breath. And Meriliths unleash confusion spells that scatter minds with a psychic static that buzzes in the ears. These spells often misfire, reflecting the abyss's instability, adding a layer of danger where a fireball might explode prematurely, the scent of charred flesh mingling with the acrid smoke. Resistance to magic is another hallmark, their infernal hides shimmering with a subtle barrier that deflects spells like a shield of heat haze. This resistance, innate to most demons, forces adventurers to rely on physical prowess or specific countermeasures called iron blades that bite with a sharp clang or holy water that sizzles on contact, releasing a faint steam that carries the scent of sanctity. In battle, this makes demons formidable, their laughter a guttural rasp that vibrates the air mocking as spells fizzle against them, the ground beneath trembling with their defiance. Hezru shrug off enchantments with a swampy grunt, their rot-stenched hides absorbing magic like a sponge, while Nalfishni judges laugh as divine bolts dissipate in bursts of light. Signature abilities define each demon's terror. Balors, with their whip-cracking fury, unleash death throes upon Defeata, fiery explosion that scorches with the charcoal scent of burning wood, the blast radius leaving ash drifting like snowflakes. Vrox dance with spores that release a musty cloud, choking with bitter dust that clings to lungs, their screeches piercing like nails on slate as they leap with talon strikes that whistle through the air. Succubi charm with a touch that warms like forbidden desire, their whispers soft as silk, bending minds in lairs where perfume masks the rot beneath. Merilith's multi-armed assaults slice with a metallic ring, their telepathic commands echoing like distant drums, coordinating chaos with serpentine grace. Demons' physical prowess complements their magic claws that gouge with a wet scrape, leaving trails of ichor that steam on the ground, and jaws that snap with a crunch, severing limbs in bursts of blood-scented mist. Glaberzu's crab-like pincers click with a hollow echo, capable of crushing armor with a groan of bending metal, while Hezru's bulk slams with a thud that shakes the earth, their swampy stench overwhelming senses. These abilities make demons unpredictable, their attacks shifting like the abyss's layers walls melting into flesh, floors buckling underfoot, adding a visceral challenge to Dungeons and Dragons encounters. Their chaotic nature amplifies danger, as abilities often defy logic teleporting mid-battle to flank, spells warping into unintended effects like a fireball turning to ice, the air crackling with the shift. This unpredictability forces strategic adaptation, players feeling the thrill of a Balor's sudden whip crack or the dread of a succubus's gaze softening resolve, the room growing warm with her allure. In Out of the Abyss, demons' powers disrupt the Underdark, tunnels echoing with madness, induced screams as their magic twists reality, the ground slick with slime from dretched swarms. Demons' weaknesses offer Hope Cold Iron's bite cuts through resistances with a sharp sting. Holy Water's sizzle purifies with a steam that carries sanctity's scent. And Banishment spells tear rifts with a roar of displaced air. These vulnerabilities shape combat. Adventurers wielding blessed blades that glow faintly or chanting exorcisms that vibrate the air, the demons' howls fading into the void. This balance ensures demons remain thrilling foes, their powers a chaotic dance that challenges but can be overcome. Notable demons and their domains. The first demons, known as Oberiths, were alien horrors from a dying universe, their arrival predating the Dawn War. These entities, like Dagon with tentacles writhing in inky depths, or Pazuzu with wings beating gusts laden with plague dust, invaded the abyss, corrupting its layers with madness that warped stone into fleshy tumors pulsing softly in the gloom. They clashed with Tanari, the newer breed of demons, born from the plane's chaos spallers, with whips cracking fire, Vrock's screeching spores that choke with bitter tang. The Oberith's decline came with the Queen of Chaos's failed war, her scepter lost in battles where the ground split open, releasing geysers of foul liquid that steamed with corruption. Orcus, Prince of Undeath. Orcus rules the 113th layer, Thanatos, a bleak plain strewn with bones that clatter underfoot like dry leaves in a windstorm, the air carrying a faint, musty decay. This demon lord, a hulking figure with a goat-like head and bat wings that flap with a heavy thud, wields a wand shaped from a spinal column, its tip glowing with necrotic light that pulses like a heartbeat. His domain is a necropolis where undead legions shamble, their groans a low rumble that vibrates the earth, and rivers of black ichor flow with a sluggish drip. Orcus commands necromantic powers, raising skeletons with a crackle of rejoining bones and casting finger of death, the beam humming with a cold that numbs the skin. In adventures, his cult's rituals and graveyards fill the air with the scent of turned earth, players battling his avatar amid crypts where shadows coil like living smoke. Grazist, Dark Prince. Graz's lords over the 47th layers, Azagrad, a realm of opulent decadence where marble palaces gleam with gold veining, their halls echoing with the soft sway of silk curtains and the clink of goblets in perfumed breezes. This demon prince, a tall figure with ebony skin and six-horned elegance, exudes a seductive charm, his voice a purr that warms the air like a lover's whisper. His domain is a contrast of beauty and horror, gardens blooming with poisonous flowers that release a cloying sweetness masking rot, and dungeons where chains rattle softly. Grazist wields a ransor that slices with a metallic ring and casts charm person, bending minds with a touch that tingles like forbidden desire. In campaigns, his influence tempts adventurers in lairs where the ground is soft with velvet, his schemes weaving intrigue in cities like Waterdeep. Yenogu, Beast of Butchery. Yenogu commands the 422nd layer, a gore-slicked wasteland where the air hums with the frenzied howls of Nolpax, the ground sticky with blood that squelches underfoot. This hyena-headed demon lord wields a triple flail that swings with a rhythmic thud, his fur matted with ichor that drips with a wet plop. His domain is a hunting ground where prey is torn apart, the scent of raw meat and sweat thick in the air, and caves echo with the gnashing of fangs. Yenuhu's powers include rage-inducing roars that vibrate the chest and cause frenzy, his claws slashing with a sharp whistle. In Out of the Abyss, his influence drives knoll raids, the wilderness alive with the crunch of bones under savage feasts. Jublex, Faceless Lord. Jublex reigns over the 220-twin layer, a slimy expanse where the ground oozes with acidic muck that hisses on contact, the air heavy with a pungent, rotting stench. This amorphous demon, a mass of tentacles and eyes that blink randomly, exudes a corrosive aura that melts stone with a sizzle, its form shifting like liquid shadow. His domain is a bog of filth where pools bubble with toxic gases that sting the lungs, and he casts acid splash, the spray leaving trails that steam with acrid vapor. In Adventures, his presence corrupts underdark caverns, players navigating slime-slick tunnels where the ground shifts underfoot. Fraz Urblu, Prince of Deception. Fraz Urblu rules the 176th layer, a realm of illusory splendor where the air shimmers with mirages of golden cities that dissolve into ash underfoot, the scent of flowers masking decay. This demon prince, a tall figure with bat wings and a hypnotic gaze, casts illusions so real they feel like stone under touch, his voice a soothing lull that warms the air. His domain shifts with deceit, walls melting like wax, and he commands misled, creating decoys that vanish with a pop. In campaigns, his tricks challenge players in lairs where reality warps, the ground soft with illusionary grass. Demogorgon, Prince of Demons. Reigning over the 88th layer, known as the Gaping Maw, Demogorgon is the self-proclaimed Prince of Demons, a dual-headed monstrosity whose roars resonate like discordant thunder across brackish swamps. His domain is a nightmarish expanse of stagnant water that laps at rotting shores with a sluggish gurgle, the air thick with the stench of decay and the buzz of carrion flies. Two-head-sewn simian with a snarling maw, the other reptilian with a hissing tongue command his forces, their voices clashing in a cacophony that vibrates the ground. Demogorgon wields twin tentacles that whip with a wet smack, capable of crushing stone, and casts spells like Dominate Person, his gaze, a psychic pressure that feels like a vice tightening on the mind. In Out of the Abyss, players confront his influence in the Underdark, where his madness warps reality, tunnels echoing with screams as his cultists spread chaos, the air growing heavy with a musty rot. These lords' domains and powers shape dungeons and dragons' narratives, their rivalries fueling the Abyss's chaos. Demogorgon's madness spreads through portals, Orcus's undeath rises in graveyards, Graz's seduction tempts in courts, Yenagu's savagery ravages wilds, Jublex's slime corrupts caverns, and Fraz Urblu's illusions deceive cities. Each offers unique challenges, their lairs alive with sensory details, the slosh of swamp, the clatter of bones, the rustle of silk-inviting adventurers to confront their darkest aspects. The cults of demons. From warlocks sealing deals in blood-scented chambers to frenzied worshippers chanting under moonless skies, these cults spread the Abyss's anarchic will, their lairs echoing with the guttural roars of summoned fiends and the rustle of cloaks concealing sinister intent. In a world where order is prized, these devotees embrace chaos, their devotion a twisted mirror to the demons they serve. The origins of demon cults. lie in the abyss's corrupting influence, seeping through planar rifts that tear open with a roar like ripping fabric, releasing tendrils of chaos into mortal realms. Early cults formed among outcasts and power-hungry mages, drawn to the promise of forbidden knowledge, whispered in dreams that feel like cold breath on the neck. In forgotten temples where moss clings to crumbling walls and the ground is soft with decayed leaves, these groups coalesced, their rituals fueled by the blood of captives, bound on altars that steam with heat. Over centuries, cults evolved, splintering into factions aligned with specific demon lords, each reflecting their patrons' domain swamps reeking of rot for Demogorgon, bone-strewn plains for Orcus, or opulent halls perfumed with decadence for Grazes. Membership demands a descent into darkness, initiated through pacts sealed with blood drawn from wrists that sting with the cut of ritual daggers, the crimson pooling in bowls that glow faintly with abyssal energy. Warlocks, their eyes glowing red in candlelit chambers where shadows coil like living smoke, offer their souls for power, feeling a surge like electricity as demonic pacts take hold. Barbarians marked by claw scars from initiation hunts, their skin tingling with the memory of savage rites, embrace frenzied worship, while sorcerers with veins pulsing under skin like molten lava channel demonic bloodlines. These followers gather in hidden lair scripts where the air carries the dry rasp of bones, or forests where the rustle of leaves, masks, chants rising like a storm's rumble pledging allegiance to their lords. Rituals are the lifeblood of these cults, conducted with a fervor that shakes the ground. Sacrifices are common, captives bound on altars, slick with blood that drips into channels forming demonic sigils, the air growing warm with the steam of offered life. Chants in Abyssal, a guttural tongue that grates the throat, rise in tempo, accompanied by the crackle of summoned portals that hum with chaotic energy, releasing wisps of sulfur-scented mist. Demogorgon's cults perform frenzied dances in asylums, where the walls echo with madness-induced screams, the floor sticky with spilled wine and blood, invoking his twin-headed rage. Orcus's followers raise undead in graveyards, the crackle of rejoining bones filling the night, as wands pulse with necrotic light, the air heavy with the musty decay of turned earth. Grazit's devotees indulge in decadent feasts, the clink of goblets masking poisoned wine, their illusions shimmering like heat haze to seduce victims. The goals of demon cults vary by patron but center on spreading chaos. Demogorgon's followers seek to unleash madness, raiding villages where the air fills with the cries of the afflicted, their minds fracturing like glass under psychic pressure. Orcus's cult aims to expand undeath, summoning zombies that shamble with a dry rasp through fog-shrouded nights, their numbers swelling graveyards with the scent of rot. Graz's sect pursues domination, infiltrating courts where the rustle of silk curtains hides whispered treachery, bending rulers to his will with a touch that warms like forbidden desire. These cults clash with lawful forces like paladins of Tyr, whose blessed blades glow faintly, cutting through illusions with a sharp sting, or clerics of Pellar, whose radiant light burns with a steam that carries sanctity. Cultists gain boons from their patrons, reflecting demonic powers. Demogorgon's devotees develop psychic resistance, their minds humming with a protective static as they resist charms, while Orcus's followers gain necrotic touch, their hands cold as they drain life with a whisper that fades into silence. Graz's worshippers master illusions, casting mirage arcana that shimmers like desert heat, tricking foes into false safety. These gifts come at a cost: insanity creeping like fog, physical mutations like horns sprouting with a dull ache, or pacts that bind souls with a burning sensation like sealing wax. In Dungeons and Dragons adventures, cults drive narratives of abyssal invasion. In Out of the Abyss, Demogorgon's cultists spread madness in the Underdark, tunnels echoing with screams as portals hum with chaotic energy, the ground slick with slime from summoned fiends. Princes of the Apocalypse features cults summoning demons through elemental rifts, chambers where winds howl unnaturally, and altars steam with sacrificial heat. Descent into Avernus pits players against cults aiding Yenahu's raids, battlefields reeking of gore where gnolls feast with frenzied howls. These encounters challenge heroes to infiltrate lairs, the air oppressive with the weight of summoned evil, traps snapping with mechanical clicks or illusions warping reality. Cults also serve as moral tests, tempting players with power in moments where the clink of gold tempts greed or the promise of strength stirs ambition, the air warming with demonic allure. Warlocks might pact with Grazist, feeling a tingle as magic flows, while barbarians of Yenahu revel in rage, their blood pounding like war drums. This duality enriches roleplay, adventurers weighing the cost of pacts against the thrill of victory. As agents of chaos, demon cults perpetuate their lords' legacies, their rituals a bridge between planes where the abyss's howl seeps into mortal dreams. Using demons in your campaign. These abyssal fiends, born from the infinite layers of the abyss, where the scent of brimstone lingers and the clash of fiendish roars reverberates, bring a unique flavor of chaos and temptation to any adventure. Whether as relentless antagonists, reluctant allies, or even paths to transformation for player characters, demons can enrich your campaign with intrigue, danger, and unforgettable encounters. Introducing demons as antagonists. Demons excel as primary villains, their chaotic nature driving plots of destruction and corruption. Begin by seeding their presence, subtly whispers of madness in a village where the air grows cold with an unnatural chill, or strange symbols etched in blood on cavern walls that hum with latent energy. A cult of Demogorgon might raid settlements, the ground slick with ichor from summoned manes whose guttural croaks fill the night, forcing PCs to investigate. Escalate with encounters like a Balor leading an invasion, its whip cracking like thunder and death throes scorching the earth with a charcoal scent, challenging players to strategize against unpredictable tactics. Use demons' teleportation and wild magic spells misfiring in bursts that crackle with ozonito keep combat dynamic, the air vibrating with chaos as illusions shimmer like heat haze. Subjugating demons. Controlling demons offers a thrilling power dynamic. PCs can use magic circle spells, the air glowing with a faint sanctity that hums as it traps a Hezru, its swampy rot stench contained within the runes. The spell planar binding, chanted with a voice that vibrates the ground, binds of rock to service, its spores choking the air until obedience is sworn, the feathers rustling softly in submission. Require costly components, cold iron chains that bite with a sharp sting, or a demon's true name whispered from an ancient tome, its pages crackling under touch to reflect the risk. Success grants allies like a Glabrezu scout, its crab-like claws clicking with a hollow echo, but failure risks possession. The PC's eyes glowing red as demonic whispers invade their mind. Balance this with consequences-bound demons may betray at critical moments, their layers shifting like melting wax underfoot. Forging pacts with demons. Pacts transform PCs into warlocks, a narrative arc rich with temptation. Offer a demon lord like Grazist, his voice a seductive purr warming the air in an opulent hall where silk curtains sway, proposing power for a soul's servitude. The contract sealed with a handshake that burns like sealing wax. Demogorgon might grant psychic resistance in a swamp where brackish water laps at rotting shores, his twin heads roaring discordantly, demanding chaos-spreading quests. Orcus could offer necromantic might in a bone-strewn plain, the wand's necrotic light pulsing like a heartbeat, requiring undead-raising deeds. Sensory immersion tattoos glowing with inner fire, the thrill of magic tingling like electricity enhances roleplay. Pacts evolve through tiers, unlocking spells like Dominate Person with a gaze that tightens like chains, but demand evil acts like sacrificing allies, the air growing heavy with their final breaths. Becoming a demon. The ultimate transformation, becoming a demon, offers a dark hero's journey. Use the 9th level spell True Polymorph, cast in a ritual where blood drips into a circle that glows with abyssal energy, the air thickening with sulfur, to shift a PC into a fiend like a Vrak, its feathers rustling with a leathery flap. Alternatively, a demon lord like Jublex might grant this boon in a slimy lair where acid hisses on stone, requiring a soul trade that leaves the PC's skin tingling with mutation horns sprouting with a dull ache, eyes glowing yellow. This arc explores corruption, the PC gaining flight, or spore attacks that choke with bitter dust, but losing humanity, their voice deepening to a guttural rasp. Balance with redemption quests, like resisting a Balor's fiery influence in a scorched battlefield where ash drifts like snowflakes, restoring their soul. Creative hooks and encounters. Incorporate demons uniquely. A possessed NPC, eyes rolling back with a red glow, begs for exorcism in a village where the air carries a faint demonic hum, leading to a Hezru ambush in a swamp where water gurgles ominously. A portal rift, tearing open with a roar like ripping fabric, spills dretches into a city, the streets slick with slime, prompting a rescue mission. A treasure map leads to a Glabrazu's lair, the ground soft with velvet illusions, offering a cursed horde that tempts greed. Use environmental hazards, volcanic tremors, shaking a Balor's domain, the heat radiating like a Forjor moral tests, like sparing a succubus whose touch warms with allure, shaping party dynamics. Campaign arcs and themes. Build arcs around demons. A Fall to Chaos campaign tracks a PC's pact with Grazd, from seduction in perfumed halls to ruling a corrupted city, where silk rustles hide treachery, the air growing warm with power. An Abyssal invasion arc features Demogorgon's cult-summoning fiends, tunnels echoing with madness, induced screams, requiring alliances to seal rifts. A redemption story follows a demon-possessed PC battling Orcus's undead in graveyards where bones crackle, seeking purification with holy water's sizzle. Themes of temptation, sacrifice, and redemption deepen narratives, the air alive with the weight of choices. DM tips and balance. Balance Demon encounters with challenge rating stretches for low levels. Balors for epic tiers adjusting with environmental factors, like toxic gases stinging the lungs or unstable ground buckling underfoot. Use their unpredictability teleportation mid-fight. Spell Misfire Stow keep players on edge, but offer counters like Cold Iron's Bite or Banishment's Roar. Encourage roleplay with pacts, letting PCs negotiate terms in lairs where the clink of chains masks deals, the air warm with negotiation. Track corruption with mechanic sanity checks failing, with a whisper that chills the spine. Mutation sprouting with a dull, aching narrative depth, without overwhelming. Demons transform campaigns into realms of chaos and choice. Their power's a canvas for DM creativity. Whether subjugating a Vrock with a hum of trapped energy, pacting with Orcus amid bone-clattering plains, or becoming a fiend with skin tingling under mutation, they offer endless possibilities. As you craft your next tale, let the Abyss's howl guide your narrative, a sound that lingers like a fading dream. And so we leave the Abyss behind, for now. Its chaos still churns in the far corners of the multiverse, where demon lords plot, rage, and hunger for new worlds to corrupt. But you are safe for this night, wrapped in stories, far from the reach of talons and flame. If the whispers of the Abyss stirred your curiosity, let me know and perhaps we'll return to the darkness once more. Until then, rest well, traveler, for even the deepest shadows fade when dawn comes.